What's going on, everybody? This is Brian Mazique of the Fight Guys. I'm a Forbes contributor and I also write for Heavy.com. This channel is powered by Fight TV and it is presented by Bet Online. And we are talking UFC on ESPN 9. The main event, Tyron Woodley, the chosen one, the former, Kamaru Usman, the former UFC welterweight champion, arguably one of the greatest welterweights of all time. I don't think that's arguable. I think he is one of the greatest welterweights of all time. He's arguably the greatest. Well, I don't even. Yeah, you can't say that. I think Georges St. Pierre is clearly the greatest welterweight. But you know what I'm saying. Tyron's great. He's in that conversation, right? Taking on Gilbert Burns, ranked number 6 as a welterweight. He is on a crazy tear right now, and Tyron's trying to rebound from the loss to Kamaru Usman, a very one-sided, lopsided defeat at the hands of Usman that cost Tyron Woodley his title. Here's the deal. Here's the whole shebang, right? First major issue or first major point to discuss. Tyron Woodley's 38 years old, guys. I know you look at Tyron Woodley, he's never not in shape, but he's 38. And at some point, you wonder if he's at a point where now he's beginning to show his age. Is that what we saw against Kamaru Usman? If not, is it something that we'd see now against Gilbert Burns? It doesn't appear that he's in that way because I don't know if you've been seeing Tyron Woodley on social media lately and just watching things overall. Tyron Woodley is fired up for this fight. He is ready. He said, claims he is in a violent mood. He wants to put a hurt on somebody. And Gilbert Burns is the guy who is in his way to get this done. Now, Gilbert Burns is 33 himself, but yeah, 38 and 33 is different. It's 5 years difference. And it could mean something in the octagon for sure. But from a experience standpoint, from an MMA standpoint, I mean, they've had almost the same amount of fights. This is going to be Tyron Woodley's 25th professional mixed martial arts fight, and it's going to be the 22nd fight for Gilbert Burns. So they're right there in that same category. I'm going to tell you, this is the whole deal for me. This is not even. Sometimes these fights are super complicated, right? And there's all these different factors and things like that to worry about and this and that. Off the top, just look at first of all, let's look at the odds. Tyron Woodley is a minus 178 favorite. Gilbert Burns is a plus 153 underdog. So my opinion, my take on this is a fight Tyron Woodley can win in a I'm talking about in the type of way that makes people go, whoa. I think Tyron Woodley might be in need of the next title shot. I know we're talking about Masvidal and Connor and all these different people, but maybe it's Tyron Woodley needs to do a quick run back and get to fight Usman. I think he can win this fight like that. But the questions are, is he going to be feeling some or showing some aging or some impact or effects from aging? Because like I said, 38 is 38. Not saying it's a death sentence and you can't perform at 38. I'm just saying you cannot ignore it. The other thing is this. Is he going to allow himself to be pushed backwards? Tyron Woodley does not fight fantastic being pushed backwards. Is he going to allow himself to be pushed backward against the cage, smaller octagon? I think it's like the 5th or 6th time that I've mentioned this. With smaller octagon, Tyron likes to use the octagon. He's going to step in and take his shots, but he does like to move around and check his angles and that sort of thing. Is he going to allow Burns to push him up against the fence and take away what he really does best? And Gilbert Burns is not physically built the way that some of the guys who've had success doing that have been. So you look at Rory McDonald, who was able to completely kind of shut down Tyron, and just the length and the pressure was just too much. The similar thing happened with Usman. It was the length and the pressure was just too much, kept going the entire time. Gilbert Burns is a much shorter guy than those guys. Tyron generally has problems with the height and the reach. Gilbert Burns is listed at about 5'10". I think him and Tyron are about the same height. He might even be a little shorter. And Tyron's a shorter, stockier guy, but the length should not be an issue. Now, Gilbert Burns is a world-class Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu guy. I'm talking about probably top 5, 7 Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu guys in the world, regardless of weight class, that are currently competing in mixed martial arts. But he also can crack. And he's been falling in love with that form of victory. He knocked out Damian Maia in 2 minutes and 34 seconds in his last fight, which is pretty significant because most guys don't touch Damian Maia that way to knock him out. Tyron Woodley didn't beat him that way. He just kind of shut down the takedowns and did enough to win in a fight that a lot of people criticize because of the lack of action. But Gilbert Burns didn't deliver that kind of performance. He came out and cracked and stopped him. But here's the thing: you might automatically think, oh well, Gilbert Burns is going to have a significant advantage over Tyron Woodley on the ground. I don't know if you saw Tyron Woodley got his Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt when he submitted Darren Till in September 2018. Tyron is a nasty guy on the ground with a variety of different submissions, not to mention the wrestling background, and oh, not to mention he's a freak in terms of strength and explosiveness. So I don't think that the advantage on the ground for Burns, if there is one, is going to be as significant as some people may think. Also, remember there's a big difference between MMA grappling and Brazilian Jiu Jitsu grappling. We've seen it before. We've seen guys who have come into a match with better Brazilian Jiu Jitsu resumes and they've won these different tournaments and not have as big of an advantage over a good MMA grappler on the ground that we thought that they would. I think this is one of those situations. I don't believe that Tyron Woodley is going to show up for this fight unprepared. I don't believe he's at a place, even though he is of an advanced age, I don't think he's at a place where he's going to be showing tremendous wear. I think stylistically, this is a good fight for him. I think Gilbert Burns will be there to be hit. And I think if he does try to take this fight to the ground, I think that Woodley will be able to stuff those takedowns, keep it standing, and Woodley's right hand is still dynamite. I think he knocks out Gilbert Burns in the first round, guys. I don't think this fight gets out of the first round. I think Tyron finds a spot for that right hand and knocks him out. So that is my prediction. You can call it a bold prediction, but I got Tyron Woodley winning by knockout in this fight. So let me know what you think. Also, don't forget to like the video, subscribe as well. Click that notifications bell. And if you want to see all of my odds and predictions videos for this card, the notification or little card that showed up in the upper right corner of the screen, make sure you go back, click that. It'll open up a window for you to see every single last prediction video that I had. But I'm looking forward to watching the fights. Be sure to tune in with me as soon as the event goes off. I'll be recapping the entire event. And also make sure you watch the Fight Guys on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. We're talking combat sports, boxing, MMA, bare knuckle fighting championship, everything where people take a swipe at each other. We talk about it. So I appreciate, unless if y'all like doing it at home, we don't talk about that. But I appreciate you watching. As always, God bless and peace.